Hello, and welcome to Journeys Through Grief. I'm Emily Silva Hoekstra, and today I'm speaking with Laura Sterling Joffrion. Professionally, Laura cut her teeth in marketing, working in social media marketing and digital marketing strategies since 2009. In 2017, Laura and her mom decided to start a plant design business in their hometown of New Orleans, based out of a 23-foot step van. Their studio connects people to the exotic and promotes vibrant organic living experiences through plant styling and local craft. Most recently, Laura extended the business into a storefront which opened March 11th at 3822 Magazine Street in New Orleans. Personally, Laura is a soft hearted, adventurous spirit born under a Taurus led sky in Venus. She is a passionate person who loves connecting with nature through hiking and hunting for waterfalls. She has an adorable dog, Mingus, who loves to act as her co pilot. Hi, Laura. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Oh, I'm very excited to be here with you, Emily.
So, I told you that the series is Journeys Through Grief, and I wanted to talk to you because you're one of the strongest people that I know. And the reason is because life is full of a lot of hard stuff. And I feel like you've gone through some pretty hard things in your life, and yet you continue to make beautiful things.
Yes, I try.
Yeah, you definitely have. And so I wanted to know if you could share with us today some of the hard things, maybe something recent that you've gone through that has caused you to grieve or just bring some sadness into your life.
Sure.
Mhm.
So over the past couple of years, we've all lost things. And, for me, that loss was translated into a really important partnership in my life. And he was someone that really inspired me professionally, creatively. We had amazing adventures together. He, taught me a lot about nature. And there were some things that came up in his family life where it just really led us on two different paths. And that for me really bubbled up a lot of loss around abandonment and issues that I've had through my lifetime that have stemmed from my relationship with my father. And truthfully, it was this whole journey for me has been very exciting because it allowed me to go down a path of testing out and exploring different types of therapy like EMDR, to work through those issues that I have with my father, and men in general, to kind of come out on the other side in a much more whole and excited place. And it's deepened my relationship with my father in a way that is just really, really exciting. He is aware of my EMDR practice and, just has been extremely vulnerable with me around it. Isn't it really excited to work with me through the issues that he and I have uncovered throughout the years. It has just been a very healing process for me. And through that, this summer, I even went on like a 2-month hiatus where I spent about 2 months in the woods
Wow.
on North Carolina and South Georgia, or North Georgia, South Carolina, Southern North Carolina. And it was wonderful and it was beautiful. And it allowed me to connect to myself and nature in a way that was extremely important. And I wouldn't have done that if I hadn't had the experiences I had had with Jeremy, my ex, that taught me about my passion around and it really opened up that part of me that loves nature and loves being in nature. So, yeah, I think that has been really a journey for me in the last year that has kind of brought me full circle to be able to be a lot more vulnerable and excited about the future.
Yeah, breakups can be quite a catalyst for grief, growth, and change for sure.
Mhm.
And I think, every time we choose to date someone, we open ourselves up to learning something from that person, whether it's good or bad. But it sounds like the takeaway just even deepened yourself in what you're doing for a living.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, when I last year, this time, I actually thought I was going to close my business down.
Wow.
The supply chain, the in plants and tropicals, it just was completely wrecked by the pandemic, and we couldn't get plants anymore. So for me, the way that we pivoted and over the course of the last year have done things a little bit different, and it just wasn't sparking the amount of passion in
Mhm.
me that it had before. And so really that's why we took hiatus over last summer, was to really kind of orient around what we felt like our future was going to be. And both my mom and I, who my mother owns the business with me, anyone who doesn't know that, but so she and I really came back and we're like, no, this is what we want to do. And we went to our trade show in January, and they were very excited to let us know that they've been opening up shipping, and here we are. So it's just amazing how, one thing can kind of lead to the next. And, that leap of faith is, you can't take a bet on anybody, but if you can't take a bet on yourself.
Well,
So
it's very brave to take a hiatus from your business. Do you feel that the grief helped you become more brave?
yeah, absolutely. Oh, I don't even think there was an option. Like, I don't even think there was an option at that point in time. I had no drive. Um, I was extremely depressed, just extremely depressed. Um, I woke up every day, it wasn't like I couldn't get out of bed. But when it came to actually like going to work and doing things,
Mhm.
it was extremely hard for me to be motivated and to get motivated. And I was really nervous about the fact that, like, maybe I've just lost my passion around this. Maybe I don't want to do this anymore. It's become too hard. Everything about it is so hard, and it was hard, but it was also me. I was also hurting and broken and really in a lot of pain. Um, and going through the process of EMDR is not easy. You very much break down before you get back up again. I mean, I actually went through a midlife crisis last summer, I'm pretty sure. And when I told people that I thought I was going through a midlife crisis, everybody was like, but you're a girl and you're a single girl. I'm like,
Mhm.
yes, I am. And I am, women can also go through midlife crises, and you can go
100%.
through one if you're single. It does not matter if you're married or single to go through a midlife crisis. Just, oh my God, I'm 43 or I'm 42. Like, how do I want to spend the next 42 years of my life?
Yeah.
And really, my therapist was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, let's break this into bite-sized pieces, like 42 years, Laura, let's really slow your roll. But it was big. I was asking big questions of myself, and, read a lot of inspirational books, Brene Brown, obviously. But there's also Man's Search for Meaning, which was extremely, it was just a course corrector for me. It really helped me sort of realign what's really important in my life, and seeing the beauty in the darkness. And I think that really, like, all of those things, the ability to have the time to go into nature and do that. Not everybody has that ability. And I feel extremely grateful that I did, and that I was able to take that time and put that energy towards my self-growth.
Well, you've mentioned EMDR a couple times now. So do you want to talk a little bit about that and explain it for anybody who doesn't understand or know what EMDR is?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It sounds a little crazy. It's basically sensory deprivation therapy, where they will either do sensory with your ears or your eyes where you follow a dot, or I'm auditory. So I did it with earphones, and they do like a sound in each ear and it kind of clicks. And then they ask you to think about a memory. And it basically, what it does is when you're going through this process, it opens up the reptilian part of your brain, as you think about these memories that you're having that cause trauma, because the reptilian part of your brain has it doesn't understand time. There's no timeline when it comes to this part of your brain. So every single time you think about those traumatic experiences, it's like it's happening to you right now. And so what happens is through this process, it actually helps to heal and recourse those stimulus, those memories in your brain, so that reptilian, it doesn't go through your reptilian part of your brain anymore. It's not experiencing that trauma in the same way. So it's
trigger.
Wait, I'm sorry.
So does it quiet the trigger for you?
It doesn't quiet the trigger. It reroutes the reception. So like they ask you, how did this experience make you feel? And how would you want it to make you feel? Mm-hmm. And so you're rewiring your brain to feel the way that you want to feel mm-hmm. through that memory, not how you did think or feel.
Did you know that you needed to do EMDR, or did you find did you look for a therapist that is specialized?
So one of my best friends here in New Orleans is a therapist. Okay. And one day she and one of our girlfriends, we all went out to dinner, and I was talking about, how much pain I was in. And like through the course, like not only is my girlfriend a therapist, but the girl that we were having dinner with, her husband had gone through EMDR. And so both of them were really like, wow, Laura, it really sounds like this could be something that you could benefit from. And I live in New Orleans. I'm sure everyone knows that. And so, I mean, literally there are like 7 therapists in this city that offer this type of therapy. It's very new, and seen as kind of a new age thing. So not a lot of insurance cover it. So it's really difficult, or it's really hard to get the treatment, or it can be difficult to get the treatment. I'm sure it's not in California. But here it was a little bit more difficult. And, I just found someone that I trusted, and I ended up choosing a man. Usually historically, I have worked with female therapists, but I felt like, given the issues that were surfacing were around my relationships with men, that it would really deepen the experience for me to walk through this process with a man. And it did. It really did.
It's a very brave choice.
Thanks.
It just sounds like you were ready to heal.
Yes, I was. I was really sick and tired of the narrative around abandonment and feeling this way by other people making me feel this way and that way. It was time for me to, take the reins back and own my own narrative. So I was really excited to move through that process. Very. And like I said, when because a lot of the trauma that I had experienced as a child was with my father, who is actually a delightful person. I do love him very much. I do feel like he did the best that he could, for me as a child. And at the same time, like as children, we don't remember things like that, we all have our own different perspectives in the way that we view the world. So anyway, it was a really healing experience for me and my father as well. I was very open and honest and vulnerable with him around the practice. And he's also has a psychology background. So he knew what I was talking about. It wasn't like talking to someone who doesn't understand the process. And so he was really excited about my desire to go through through this journey, and he was just with me every step of the way. We actually read a book together through the process. I cannot remember the name of this book. It would not have been my choice. It was definitely his choice. He had read it. It was an audio book, and something about it made him think of me. And there were some healing things around relationships, partnered relationships in it. But there were also some really triggering moments where, we had to get very vulnerable with one another around those experiences that we're reading through. So we would meet on a weekly basis, and we did it for like 5 months. And it was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. So, he and I have done a lot of work around our relationship in the past year. And I'm really excited for, the process of choosing a partner moving forward, after having done this work. I feel like in order for me to move forward, choosing the right people to bring into my life in general, that this was a vital exercise for me to go through in life.
Do you feel that the breakup that you had during COVID was more grieving for you for a reason other than other breakups in the past, which caused this avalanche of growth for you?
Yes. I was under no illusion that, my ex and I would ever get married. I knew that was not in the cards for us. I don't really value that, so I really didn't care. But there were other signs and signals that came up that were just really indicating to me that it wasn't a good fit. And at the same time, there was so much about that relationship that was positive that it was really, really hard to walk away from it. Harder than it has ever historically been for me to walk away from a partnership. And, in terms of personality, I've never, he's a really calm energy. And, he leads in a very silent way. And, I found a lot of ease in his presence. And I am a really strong woman. I'm a really, really strong woman. And I'm very vocal and vibrant and enthusiastic and excitable. And he just calmed me, in a way that eased my masculine and allowed my feminine to rise. And I just had never had that before. I had never had a partnership that allowed that. And that I felt that secure and safe in, to be able to lean into my feminine like that. And so through the loss of him was also the loss of that feeling, because I now had to take care of myself again and provide. And I mean, he didn't provide for me, but that masculine part of me had to rise again. And there was some sadness to that. There's a lot of loss there, so yeah, there was definitely, it was a lot of layers around why that was so painful for me and why that relationship was so impactful. I think that, it's amazing because it's like one of those manifesting and visualizing exercises, right? You really don't know what you're looking for until you can see it.
Yeah.
And it feels extremely powerful now to know what that looks like.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Did the time in nature, being held by Mother Earth, help you with your feminine, cultivating your feminine?
Yes, I definitely think so. I also have, I have really strong women in my life. I have a very strong female community in my life. I have two wonderful, incredible sisters,
Yeah.
who are very powerful women,
Mhm.
you know, and just really, and my middle sister also, she had gone through a breakup with her partner like 6 months before me. So we were both walking through this process in very similar ways and very similar timeframes. So we were really going through this together, so I never felt completely alone, which was wonderful. But I think that allowed me to explore my feminine relationships in a way that I haven't before.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Mm,
And I like how you show the dichotomy of the masculine and the feminine inside of you, because we all have it,
absolutely.
and feeling that and having that awakened. So where are you now with your two energies?
Oh, wow. Right now in this moment,
Or
um,
yesterday?
well, right now in this moment, my masculine is thriving. My masculine is thriving right now for sure. I'm, in the process of opening this store, and I know by the time this airs, I'm already open. Yay! I can't wait for that time. But right now, I'm very much in the middle of it. And and my mom, who is my business partner, is out of town. My family bought an investment property in St. Augustine, Florida. Yay! My youngest sister is having a baby. Yay! So my mom is not here. And my community has risen up to help me make this happen. But really, like, it is all me. And I literally have done it in 5 weeks. Like,
Wow.
that lighting was not there 5 weeks ago. That lighting was not there 10 days ago.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's just, so I'm very much in my like leader driven focus, like,
Taurus.
I'm very much in my masculine right now. But like, I'm going to Costa Rica for my sister's 40th birthday on the 2nd of April. So like I have a timestamp where I know that like I get to really ease into that. I get to ease out of that energy cycle very, very soon. So I'm looking forward to that. And really like actively practicing ways to bring my feminine out, like, making sure that I shave my legs and that I, give myself a bubble bath, and just really, really, really pamper myself when I can. And I carve out that time because it is extremely important for me to, offer that part of myself energy as well through this process.
Yeah, there's a nurturing attitude that we can give ourselves when we are going through hard times, whether it's grief or just like opening up a store or a business or something. And do you find that it's easier to nurture yourself now?
Oh yeah. I mean, I find that like I can tell when my spidey sense goes up faster when I'm neglecting myself. I think that like before I would and I can remember going to a therapist like years ago, and she was like, when's the last time you did X, Y, and Z? And I was like, God only knows, like, I don't know. And I was like, I'm opening up this company. You crazy? I don't have any time. And she's like, but you have to make time. Like, that's crazy, and now when that happens, like my little spider's webs are like, and I start to get really anxious. Like my anxiety starts to go up. And that's another way that I'm very much aware that like, I'm aware of my anxiety. I'm aware of my blood pressure. Like I'm aware of these things. I'm aware of my breath. By the way, side note, one of the most amazing apps that I have ever engaged with is called Insight Timer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
So
Like,
good.
so amazing. Like, I mean, I go to bed now and it's like, they have a whole one about like reframing your timeline and like getting on the right timeline. And I'm like, yeah, girl, like it's amazing. But like, you know, practicing breath work every night when I go to sleep, like it's a game changer. It's absolutely a game changer. So
Yeah, I feel like, self-care, sometimes it can feel and sound cliche, but it really is so important. And it doesn't need to have to be like a bubble bath. It's just like, what do you need? Like,
Mhm.
did you eat breakfast?
Right, right, right. Well, I mean, I really love my fingernails. I love doing my fingernails. Like
You
that's a
do.
big part of me. And I mean, like I looked like they're not painted right now, but like last night, like I at least needed to clip them down and like file them down and, you know, like do my nails, you know, and I just like, it was wonderful. It was just like, I took 30 minutes and watched, you know, the Golden Girls. I watched the girl, and we were watching the Golden Girls and watched the Golden Girls, and it was just like indulgent. And it doesn't sound indulgent because it's, you know, but it was for me. And that in this time when every single second of my life counts right now, because I'm going against a timeline that's coming very quickly,
Mhm.
like 30 minutes is important, you know, to carve it out for yourself.
Yeah, well, it's just really interesting to me when I think back on our friendship, how we're talking about this stuff now.
Right.
I love
Right.
it.
It's great.
It's
It's
amazing.
amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Um, so we're talking about journeys through grief, but I also am asking about glimmers of resilience because I
Mhm.
do believe that walking through a valley, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, whatever metaphor you want to use.
Mhm.
And grief doesn't go away. It's
Yeah.
something that lives with us. I think it makes us deeper. It helps us give more empathy. And I just want to know where you're finding glimmers of resilience in your life right now.
Mm. I have the most incredible community, just hands down. Like, okay, so I live in New Orleans. I know I've said this a few times now. I'm very proud.
You love it.
I do love it. I absolutely do love it. I'm very passionate about New Orleans. And to have Mardi Gras this year, like we just
Mhm.
got out of Mardi Gras,
Yeah.
and I know that it sounds really like lame or like debaucherous at least, you know, but really like it's just this kind of, it's almost like just a celebration of love and color and joy and dance. And, you know, it's been one of these things where we talk about resilience, and it's like after 3 years, or really 2 years of us on lockdown, like for us to be able to dance in the streets and dress up in crazy, amazing, like elaborate costumes and just like dance in the street with, you know, high school bands that are inspirationally good. I mean, like it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. Everyone was excited. Everyone was, you know, joyful, and the whole city was just filled with music and joy and lights and color and glitter. And it's just, you know, like that to me is just this really powerful, we made it. It's a finish line. We made it, you know. And the whole thing seems so worth it, you know, because before we would really take advantage of it. It was kind of, you know, something we just did every year. It was exciting and celebratory. But this year it was like, it just felt so much bigger than that, you know. So that most definitely. I also think that like when we talk about resilience, you know, just I think that I think that finding passion in your daily life and like that also offers a lot of resilience and like just that ability to wake up and go for it every day, you
Mm, I
know.
love that.
So yeah, I mean, I think that just all of the work that I've talked about over the course of the last 30 minutes, all of that has brought me to a place where I am excited to get up in the morning. I am excited to live my life every single day. And that to me is just, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I walk with gratitude every single day.
That's beautiful. And I think for resilience, like you live in one of the most resilient cities in America. Your
Yeah.
city's gone through a lot.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm super grateful for you and your brilliance.
Oh, thanks.
Or even when your light is dulled from pain, you still shine pretty brightly.
Thank you.
And I always say to you, you are one of the most vibrant people that I know.
Oh, thanks.
And I'm really excited that this midlife crisis has just peeled back another layer so you can shine even brighter.
It's true. It's true. I like, it is such an exciting time, it is such an exciting time in life. And, I'm really looking forward to what the future holds.
Yeah, I think the 40s are supposed to be transformative, and
For sure.
we
For
just
sure.
happened to start ours with a pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah. We win.
Thank you so
No, I
much.
mean, yeah, for sure. For sure. Thank you. This has been absolutely charming. I really appreciate it. And yeah, if anyone ever wants to reach out, I'm happy to talk or be a resource or offer my time. Absolutely. So
And if you're ever in New Orleans, you have to go see her shop.
please come see my store.